Things you need to ask your insurance carrier. Let's get started. All right, so we've already talked about it in the news. Many insurance companies are leaving California, State Farm, and this is all for home and sometimes liability. So as you start buying a home or investing in real estate in California, what do we need to ask? Well, first and foremost, which insurance carriers will take you? That's always super important, right? Because there might be some companies that will, some that won't. How much are they? It doesn't hurt to shop around. The second thing is talk to an insurance broker. They have access to different insurance companies, and chances are they'll be able to find something for you. Many times, let's say you're up in the hills in Los Angeles, so the Hollywood Hills, Malibu, things like that, you're more likely to end up with what's called a California Fair Plan. That is a government-sponsored, a state-sponsored insurance. It's up to $3 million in rebuild, which for some homes that's enough, for some that's not. You just have to take a look. The third thing that you really need to dig into is the cost of construction. So most insurance companies go based off a certain metric to determine what is the cost per square foot to build. Chances are it's actually probably too low. So you need to make sure that you actually have enough coverage. How do you do that? Talk to a contractor. Some contractors I've talked to is if, let's say, a house was to be completely burnt down, the foundation, because it's concrete, is generally actually still okay. And that's gonna be the bulk of the cost, but you have to build right away. You don't need the sun exposing, the exposure to the sun. So maybe that $3 million is enough. The next thing you do wanna look at is liability and medical and like all the other aspects of it, because unfortunately, we are in a state that loves to sue people. So you need to make sure you have enough coverage. And last but not least, it never hurts to look into what's called an umbrella policy. An umbrella policy is additional liability insurance on top of your already liability that you have. So let's say, for example, you have your typical insurance covers $500,000 in liability. Then you have $1 million umbrella policy. First, it's used up as the $500,000. Then it goes into the umbrella policy. So that's a backup. And typically, those umbrella policies will only kick in if the first set of insurance kicks in. So it's not like you can use that in place of. The initial insurance has to cover it. These are things you have to think about, especially if you're investing in real estate, because tenants, some can be litigious. You just never know. And with the umbrella coverage, you can list out all of your properties and your cars and other different assets. So that $1 million could be spread out over the course of a couple of properties, which means over time you may want to up it. And the reality is it's not that expensive. It could be, I don't know, $400 to $500, depending on the circumstance, for $1 million policy. And that's yearly. So it's not a lot of money for a tremendous amount of coverage. Of course, talk to an insurance agent. They're going to be able to help you out. But now more than ever, we need to really hone in on this insurance. Thanks and have a great day.